In 2014, in search of a lifestyle that was closer to nature, we left our busy life in the southeast of England and moved to a remote part of Scotland. Here, our lives could be more in harmony with the flow of the seasons. This is our story. Hello there, welcome to my channel. I thought today we would do something completely different. It's just, believe it or not, just past the summer solstice, but it is rather a grey, cool day here on the west coast of Scotland. But I'm going to walk down to a private burial ground and a beach that's sort of not far from where I live. So this track is actually quite overgrown and relatively narrow. So whether you could get a hearse down here, I'm not sure. I can only assume A, that it's not been used as a burial ground for a while, or B, they actually carry the coffin down on the shoulders of pallbearers. So this whole area is just a beautiful wild place. The land opposite, that peninsula, is completely uninhabited. Sticks out, this is Lolet, and turning round we've got some quite big mountains here. We've got Lolet and another one. You can see there's boats in the bay. So this is something I didn't expect to find here. This is obviously where the graves are, and just look at that oak tree. There's a very large bird just flown away. It'd be interesting to see what that was, because we do have golden eagles and sea eagles in the area. We also have buzzards and ravens. So yeah, there's a gravestone there dated 2015. And this is the McDonalds family. There's a large house about a mile to the left of me down the coast that's owned by an Angus MacDonald, which is obviously an heir to these people. But this is quite unusual to see yew trees. A couple of very simple headstones here, both with, one is KML and one is JML. Obviously local family. And then something more significant up here. And just simple rock stood up on end, marking someone's last resting place. Unbelievably overgrown with bracken, but you've got these most wonderful twisted oaks. And we're right by the side of the loch. See it down there. You can see what a sea of bracken this is. Amongst all the bracken, I find another gravestone. One of the things that I love about this west coast of Scotland is the juxtaposition of mountains and woodland and rocks and sea. It's something you don't find everywhere. It's certainly, this west coast has it in oodles, and this particular place where I am now, I've got this beach. I'm just waiting for the tide to come in. If the tide was in, I'd be having a swim. And there's, looking down the loch, that will go out to the open sea. And then all around, you can see trees. And we spin round, and you've got the hills covered in the mist and trees on the hills. This particular tree is literally growing out of the rock. You can see to the side of it, there's probably no more than 40 centimetres, maybe 16 inches of topsoil, and then bedrock. And that topsoil has built up over the last 12,000 years. That's all there is. And there's heather, and there's ivy, but this wonderful, wonderful oak tree. Look at the way it's hugging into the rock and rooted itself back. Just the most incredible being. This is another one of those phenomenal old oaks. That could well have been here 300, maybe 400 years. Think of the way the world has changed. Think of the way the people's lives in this area have changed in that time. Gone from a strictly clan system through the times of the 1745 uprising, then through the Victorian clearances, and now into the modern age of the 2000s. I just couldn't resist the opportunity to sit with this wonderful old being. And it causes me to be quite reflective. Reflected on life itself. I'm 76 years old, and I've had a full and active life, and as a Druid, I'm very conscious of my mortality. But is it mortality or is it immortality? I've mentioned in my previous videos, particularly the one concerning how to be a Druid, my belief of what will happen when I eventually die, and there's no doubt about that. It will happen. The only doubt is there are two. There's how and when, and it's about, for me, learning to be comfortable with that idea. So coming to a graveyard obviously brings up that understanding for everybody, the transience of life. You know, there was a famous chronicler called the Venerable Bede. This goes back to Saxon times, I believe. And he described human life as being like a sparrow flying in one end of a great hall and out of the other end. It's fleeting. And one day this life will end. And I've already made plans for my disposal, or the disposal of my physical body. Where I live, I am so in love with the land that I would like to be buried on that land, but sadly there's not sufficient soil. It's just a few inches of topsoil and then rock. So my remains will be cremated and then scattered on that land and in the river that runs through my property. Yeah. Do you have any plans for your disposal of your body? You know, what is your feeling about your own death? So thank you for joining me on this little exploration. Hopefully you've got a sense of my love for this area and my love for life. Although I'm confident and happy to talk about my own death, I have an insatiable love for life, and consider reaching the age of 76, which is where I am now, a real privilege. If you've enjoyed my video, it'd be nice if you subscribed and liked. And if you want to know more about Druidry, then check out this video here.